I have returned.
Welcome back.
Right?
Now I need to add all the games from tonight into eShop.
Yep. Including Big Beak's mystery delivery.
Yeah, I've got that here. Okay, so there's that one. What else was added tonight? Do we have a simplified list?
We got headed in. We had yesterday. We had Super Monkey Ball. Now we had JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
All right, we're
Beak's
starting
mystery
with.
game.
We're gonna start with JoJo.
Yep.
Because that one might take me a minute to get. If I don't have it, I do not have it. Okay. After, let me create a folder. All right. After JoJo,
Mhm.
we had.
After JoJo, we have Beak's mystery game.
Got it.
Then that Super Mario RPG.
Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars. And then Smurf.
Yep.
And then some kind of Scooby-Doo monstrosity.
Yep. Scooby-Doo
It's a good way to
Classic
say it.
Creep Capers. I get a feeling somebody that hippo proposed that the time slot could put in. The kind of something pull. That'd be all the game for the night. Well, so far.
All right. Before I get this thing running, does anyone want to add anything else?
Coming to mind right now.
Okay. JoJo's here. That folder. Delete that.
I was about to say let's add in First Samurai, but we already have that.
We already have First Samurai, so we're good there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Do. Let's see, that's over there. Let's do this. We'll be set up here in just a second, folks.
Yep. Adding more games. I mean, I don't know if I mentioned that. Well, we're adding in another one, I guess.
You took too long, V.
That's why I asked.
Time Shock Pro Pinball for PS1. What the heck is that?
Guess we'll find out.
Okay, that's not gonna work. Go PlayStation.
VDVD. Listen, 20 times. Also, Devil Wolf, do you have a goal for us on that one? Pinballs, I get a feeling it's all going about score. Pinballs games don't tend to have a story mode, to say the least. Not for patient weeks. It's like a time travel mechanic. What? Also, Wolf, at times asking you to choose a number between 1 to 10. Please get something not cursed. Number 3. 3 is the lucky number. That is 3.
Is 3 really lucky though?
I don't know. We'll find out in a moment. Finals of Mana. Ooh, so that's a second Densetsu 3. If I remember
Yep.
correctly.
Seiken Densetsu 3.
Mm-hmm.
I have barely played that game.
It's good.
There we go.
I'd say I definitely need to upgrade on the original. Well, not the original, but on Secret Mana. Heck, we might each one of us pick which characters we start with.
Would be a good idea.
Yeah, I tried playing the Switch re-release of Trials of Mana, and I just had a hard time playing it.
the re-release is pretty different in the way it goes. The original is a lot more like Secret of Mana. The characters are the same, and most of the mechanics might seem similar, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Um, this here. That is gonna go over here, way down here. Okay, I think we're ready to go.
All right.
All
You
right.
need to count down.
No, I'm just gonna click the button.
All right. That's your. I would start back with chest.
Hmm. I think I'm gonna lose this game. That's okay though.
We wanted to see the animation, so it's fine.
That's the point.
Yeah, that one's going over there. That's fine. All right, Okami, if you do the exclamation shuffle, it should bring up the list.
Yep. Reason my shuffle or shuffler. Well,
sure.
goes the list.
Oh, wait, no, this isn't that one.
And also, it's all Polk's fault.
It is all Polk's fault.
What is right?
Oh, I can't do that.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, the
I am-
points are my fault. Enjoy.
Oh. Why am I so
Bah.
bad at this game? That was stupid of me. What the animation that I really want to show is a rook taking a queen.
Pretty specific.
Yes, I want to see, and that's not gonna happen right now.
Nope. Check. One movement option. Another check.
Okay.
And Home Alone. Oh no. Yeah, I think you can't sweep that. The Plaza Hotel.
Well, that's okay. I was gonna say
Yes,
who
again.
it's a good idea, but that was time.
I do believe I'll double check on that. Home Alone 2 for the Super Nintendo was Hippo.
It was Hippo. Okay.
Genesis 1 of that's my fault. You know me. You gotta hit that button a few times.
That's. I was trying to figure out how.
Yup. Go figure a game with elevator music. Once you get out, it's back to the panic.
Right.
See, I heard the word panic, and I panicked a bit.
Easy beats.
I was like, oh no!
How am I supposed to get past this guy?
Can't slide into his knee or shoot him.
I don't have anything to shoot him with.
Sliding won't work either.
Nope. Yeah, see?
Maybe you need to jump on the potted plants to get over him. Can't enter the door.
Oh, there we go.
I love you all!
There's a special place in hell for this.
Oh, yeah,
You mean this isn't?
Why, Okami? Why, Okami? Oh God!
People point back. That's why, Polk.
I did put a little bit of a cooldown, because
It was getting out of control.
These bits. Says I need to take time to write that down. Also, well, Okami decided to put in the pyramid.
See, that name sounds familiar.
A game show.
It's not a game show in this case. How do you feel about Tetris, but with triangles instead?
Right!
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, do you have a goal for us, Okami, on this one? Because I'm pretty sure where there's no technical goal.
And death.
Funny lines and one run.
Two lines in one run, that sounds about right. That sounds good. That's something much more relaxing.
NES.
Yep.
A bit too relaxing, if you ask me.
Yeah, I was gonna say a little too relaxing.
I love you all!
Here comes another one.
Huh, I actually don't have.
Red zone.
Actually, I
Is
don't see
Pyramid
it.
is Pyramid an official game?
I believe so.
No,
And
it is unlicensed.
oh boy, did you mean you provide us with a ROM of that one here? You can't give
No,
that off to. You got it?
I've got it. I just had to look in my unlicensed game folder and not the
Hi, that'll do it.
licensed folder.
Red zone, red zone, red zone. Isn't that the helicopter game, if I remember correctly?
Red zone. And that file's gone. Okay.
And yeah, double check about that one. I didn't see any cooldown on it. It says 0 minutes.
I love you all!
Wow.
Fucking Bullwinkle and friends.
Why? Okay, coming. The Nintendo version too. Oh.
Thought you said there was a cooldown.
There isn't. I double checked. That's what it's saying.
I love you all!
There is no bloody cooldown. Cooldown. Huh. That's weird. Yeah, double checking in this. Ace, ace. Get.
I love you all!
It was only a matter of time on that one, wasn't it?
So I mean, is this just gonna be throwing in all of your Kuso games, Okami? Is that all that's happening right now?
I love you all!
Well, it seems like it's.
Okay, I'm just gonna sit here and stop until Okami's done.
Just wait and see.
Alright. This is punishment for technical issue. Let's see what's going on. Please tell me, Okami, that the goal for Alf is read the storybook.
I love you all!
Wally Bear and the No Gang. How do you feel about edutainment or public service announcements?
Did I get that? I did get that.
I love you all!
In DC Worlds.
You know,
I love you all!
I'm just starting to think that I don't think I'll ever be able to participate in Kuso even if I wanted to.
Because you've played too many games.
Here.
Yeah, because I've pretty much playing all of the games that are in Kuso.
The Kuso has consoles that you can't do on Bizarre. So they'll find something.
I love you all!
And of course, the Okami classic, Orbs 3D. Yeah, there's always something.
Where was I?
Like what Okami showed me earlier, there's seemingly a different version of Flintstones.
Ah,
One
yeah.
of one of
Temple
DOS.
of DOS.
Boy. You are in for a trip. Down a set of stairs.
No landing?
Uh, we'll survive the landing. We just might be stuck in traction for a while. Oh boy. Uh, oh, Joyce, we've got more horribleness waiting for us. Lovely. Love to hear that. Yes. Any goals in particular for those?
I love you all.
Wow.
I'm adding in something fun.
Where are you now?
Here we go for the rest. The goal is suffer. Yes. Yes, I think we're already halfway there, Okami.
Okay.
Uh,
I love you all.
So, Polk, there is a cooldown on it. It's just extremely short.
I'm set it up to 0, so and neither got in 3.
Ah, so all the Ninja Gaidens.
No, just the NES ones. I could throw in the TurboGrafx one.
Yeah, but no.
I mean, the game's fine.
I don't trust your definition of fine.
As you shouldn't.
No links, Ninja Gaiden.
I mean, I haven't played it, so maybe.
Sounds like a change.
It does.
Licensed by Nintendo. Oh, not this shit.
Ah, boy.
Is
the
there easy?
one.
Yeah, we'll try normal first.
Why is there a game of this?
Nope, there's
Oh, it's the
normal
2
and
games of this.
What is happening?
I don't ask. Where's Waldo?
Oh, right in
There
the
he
middle.
is. You also need to look for the scroll.
I think that's going to be harder to find than Waldo was. Okay, it's just left and right.
At least that. You need to collect the clocks too.
More time. Yep.
Makes sense.
Oh my god.
Where's Waldo?
Well, again, Waldo is easy. It's the,
Scroll is gonna be a trick.
I don't like the noises.
It's okay. It's a shield. What?
That dog is not okay.
And it's also a character where I get some bonus stage.
Uh,
And it's also part of the cartoon show.
But why?
why
You
not?
got me. It's a mascot, they had to. Just get more points. It's a different game. You'll take that.
That didn't last
right?
long.
Boy! Ooh, Final Fantasy Tactics. The good stuff.
So close your eyes.
I'm not paying attention anymore.
Okay. Because you haven't played this game, right?
Nope.
Yeah.
He's totally blind. They kept throwing stones for progress.
Let's call it the 10th.
I thought I heard let's call it Steve, and I was like, why Steve?
Steve, the Almighty, the All Powerful.
Cutscene percent.
Its true name cannot be uttered by the English language, so we all decided on Steve.
Oh. Like Greg?
Yes.
So yeah, Kestrel, this is a game you should play at some point in time.
Yes.
I
It
mean,
is.
today I started the new Fire Emblem game that was added to the GBA, like the Switch library thingy.
If we're doing this game, I say we go with the patch version of the PSP one. It's got some better cutscenes, some better effects, a little bit of extra to it. Unfortunately, the PSP version has a built-in program issue that kind of screws all the animations.
Oh yeah, I remember
Funny
hearing
patch.
about that.
Yep. Some people thought that it was because of the PSP that the frame rate was off for some reason, but people actually try to pay to put it on an emulator and up the frame rate of the emulator for it to be able to perform properly, but the lag was still there. The frame rate was intentionally lowered within battles within the game itself. It didn't need to, but they programmed it that way. So all of the sound effects do not match the actual animations.
Oh, that's what I had heard.
Yeah, I don't remember any of that when I played the game.
Yeah. Original PlayStation version, no problem. PSP version, there's your problem.
Ah, I love the music in this game.
It's great. This game is a pretty masterpiece. So many ways. And EA Games.
Oh, when did that get added?
Just now.
Today.
Oh.
Tommy
Yeah.
just added it in his
See,
list
my
of-
brain just wanted to ignore it.
The Brave Village is strong tonight.
Yeah, no,
Let's shoot some Nazis.
this version of the game is really bad.
Yep, it's a technological marvel, but
And it
in the same way that a buttermill is a technical marvel.
I should show this version to my father. So he can cry a bit inside.
Yeah.
That's a good reason.
Control box. Otherwise known as Molotov cocktails. Found your brother.
As he just walks past the enemies and ignores them. It's kind
I'm
of
not getting shot. Why should I care?
The title of the game needs to be so in your face.
because you have to be reminded what game you are actually playing.
Because it's unrecognizable.
Correct. Low and increase in frame rate suddenly.
Hey, it took low.
We're still on that stage.
Yep.
No.
If I may have one recommendation next time we restart, you might try to switch abilities.
You know, Polk,
That's
Polk, just
Yeah?
give me a minute here.
Okay. Ah, yes, you're in second place.
Right. Damn. And that was.
Not what you wanted.
I turned too early. Now I'm not
Okay,
gonna
maybe.
win, I don't think. No.
I mean, second place is still much better than what we were doing
Mm-mm.
at the start.
See, it wasn't necessarily the ability I had. It was me constantly running into walls.
That'd definitely be a problem. Personally, I'm a bit of an item user whenever you do this kind of kart racers, so I would have gone with Mug.
You're also speaking like we know what we're doing when we're playing this game.
Infantry.
Oh, come on. Oh,
Game Boy player.
Wow, we're getting a lot of the new games.
Indeed.
well, this isn't from tonight. This is from a few nights ago.
Yeah, but it's something that wasn't
Super
started. Hey, Super Mario 3!
What was this?
Which one was it?
At the top. Mario Bros. Is the original arcade game.
Right, but I thought there was.
We needed to do the the e-card games, right? Level
Yeah,
cards.
But level cards. Okay.
Yeah, we needed to do half of them, I believe.
I
Yep.
mean, you're talking to someone who has no idea what any of this is. Oh, that background is really throwing me off.
It does seem to be like the original Super Mario Bros. Game, but with the Mario 3 engine.
The GBA Mario 3 engine
Yep.
It's a difference.
is a different. Oh my god, voice acting.
Yeah. All of the Game Boy Advance have it.
Well, I never really played these on the Game Boy Advance, so this is all new to me.
Yeah, clear half the
I
e-reader level
have-
card levels.
I have to agree with you, Time. It does seem very obnoxious.
Yeah, but as a kid, would you have cared?
Maybe.
And Doom.
Six. Actually, you know what? The better answer is something that gives us a good game to counteract Okami's list.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I'll take number 2.
2 and 6. Polk, what are we blaming you for?
Hey, don't look at me here.
Time said to blame you, so we're blaming you.
Yeah, we're totally
two-
blaming you.
I'm
Or maybe it's still a reference to the points.
It's the points. It's Okami. I gave him more ammunition. They said to blow it all up. Okay, I may have given him the ammunition. He's the one who decided what to do with
I
it.
love you all!
Sunset Riders. Ooh, that is good stuff, actually.
Which number was Sunset Riders? I'm curious, who picked it, me or Kestrel?
Sunset Riders, it was you.
Excellent.
And
That game
Really
is
chose Mickey's
fantastic.
magic wands.
never heard of that
I
one.
love you all!
Alright, I will add those in momentarily. I don't think I'll be. I mean, it has been forever since I've been able to actually beat Sunset Riders. That game is hard after stage 5.
Magic Wands is speed.
Yeah, speaking of hard after a certain stage, that's the boss that's basically the wall for me.
Can't wait to see it.
It is tough. This way, here we go.
Should we be scared time?
Probably.
I love you all!
We have Power Rangers on the SNES.
Yeah.
I can't believe we have all the versions.
We
if I
have-
remember correctly.
Well, we have at least 2.
Yeah, we've got the base game and the movie.
Eve. I'm afraid you may have to pick us a different game on that one.
Right, we're gonna pause. What are we adding here? We are adding Sunset Riders.
Incantation.
What is incantation?
Of course, we may have both more Power Rangers in the shuffler, but for some reason, it's not placed in the list.
Really? Is it just Power Ranger? Did you check Power Rangers?
Yeah, I made a search for Power and Rangers and Mighty, and yeah, there's only the movie we put up on the list.
Okay,
Yeah, because I added the regular one.
Yeah, that one's because we kept playing as Kimberly, and Kestrel kept getting annoyed by that.
Yes. Cause screw Bink.
All right, the other one was Game Boy.
Incantation.
Mickey's
Hmm.
Magic Wands on the Game Boy. There we go. Mickey Mouse Magic Wands.
Incantation reached stage 9.
Now I'm curious.
I'm curious, what have you done with Variant?
I don't know.
Ooh, Konami.
We've finally get to see Parodius.
Oh boy.
Why was there a pink penguin?
Yes. Because Konami has multiple games with penguins.
See, shot, missile, power-ups. What? Boom, boom, boom.
Which I have to ask now is it sexy Parodius? Or just regular
It-
Parodius?
Gokujo Parodius.
Look at your characters. Batman.
Although I guess I should have probably looked at what the powers were before just picking one. Yeah, whatever.
Wing it.
At this point, each wing, tail gun, boo shot option. Ooh.
Too bad.
Dang.
And that's your gun now.
Bunny option.
Oh, I went too far. This game is silly.
This is a pretty game, though. Very
Ah,
animated.
It's okay, V. You used all your skills in Sekiro today.
I did.
Still a little tipsy.
No, I think that's passed. Almost.
Well,
Dur 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 dur.
so goofy indeed. It's a parody after all.
Well, I hit the checkpoint at least. Alright.
Hey, that's not.
Oh, this thing again.
Not should be too hard to toss the key up. Hold up when you toss it, it'll go straight up.
Not what I wanted.
I believe that's boss time.
Um,
Yeah, you can jump on those and toss them at him.
oh no.
What?
Are you reading chat?
Oh,
Oh boy, we've got pinball coming, aren't we?
yep,
I
seems
love
like
you
it.
all!
Pinball! Beat Table 3. At least that. Because there's no way you're getting up to beat stage 4 on Shuffler. You know, realize that. Oof. Not a chance. Yeah, the game has 4 tables, and the fourth one is pretty much half the game.
Huh.
Yeah. It is long, it is hard, and there's a chance to really just kick you out at any moment. It is mean. Playing stage. Late stage about 8 stages. Then you get the iceberg. That's about 12 stages, if I remember correctly. Then you get the volcano, which is about 16 stages.
That flashing.
And then-
Whew.
Welcome to Air Currents. Welcome to Current News. Yeah, the smart move.
Um,
I love you
Oh,
all!
the timing.
what?
And that time sucker's trying to give me PTSD. Oh boy, Castilians.
Why is it some kind of frog pig?
Yes.
Oh god, the way it wiggles.
I have to figure out how to play the game.
Yeah, you do that.
There's a thing.
Is there no jumping?
I believe you gotta be walking and hitting the attack button to jump.
Oh,
Yeah, if you're not moving, you're attacking. If you're moving and hitting the button, he'll jump.
okay. Oh, I jumped too early. We'll figure this game out at some. Oh, there's 2. Gotcha.
Oh boy. Oh, you should be happy with this one.
Yeah,
Childhood classic, right?
yeah, I'm good with this game.
What is this?
Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh, aren't you the one who added that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Look, I can't add only good games. All right.
Hmm.
I'm just happy it's not the Sega CD version.
I've never played the version. This is the one I've played.
Mm-hmm.
I said jump.
Just be painful. Yeah.
So you're not Dracula, I'm assuming.
No, you're Harker or Harper or whatever his name is.
Really need to read that book.
Right, let's go back up. What?
Jonathan
Oh,
Harker.
That's the account. Name you're looking for.
Thank you for the name. Why do you crouch in a corner?
Because that's how you leave stage.
Is that supposed to be a hint for Castlevania 2?
Huh? He doesn't have a red jewel.
I said a hint, not the answer.
Ah. Beware
Of Castlevania.
of Castlevania!
Oh, that thing.
Oh my god. I can't even do it.
Well, someone has to. And you're the one playing right now.
How do you turn the Oh, that's how you turn the camera.
Welcome to Castlevania Uwu.
Castlevania Uwu?
Yes, you're playing a werewolf.
No, Polk, please.
What?
No,
What?
no.
Polk's a jerk.
Why? What?
Castlevania doesn't need Uwu as much as vampires don't need to sparkle.
How do you pick? There we go. That's how you pick up items.
You have a deck key, so you're able to play cards.
How do I use... Can I not save?
I don't know.
Do you need a crystal to save?
That is the crystal to save.
Oh,
Mhm.
well,
It's possible we might have selected a mode that doesn't have a memory pack.
I don't remember even mentioning
Me neither, but I would imagine it could be a case. I remember having some problems with that when I played the other game first. For something completely different.
Hopefully better.
Much better.
It's not in 3D.
Much too late.
Oh. Thank goodness for continues.
Indeed. Let's try this again.
To the gold mine we go. More power. Is it?
No.
What?
I
It
think
was
it was a
not more
pea
power.
shooter.
It was a pea shooter.
Oi. Trap power-ups. Go figure. Vulcan gun. Dang. What? Tommy. Not bad. Popping bubbles. And for those not aware, this controls like crap.
Oh, I had taken a bathroom break. I come back to whatever this is, and apparently it controls like crap. So what is this?
Orbs
3D.
3D!
Oh. Oh, I'm seeing where the 3D comes from.
Uh-huh. It controls like Pong!
Yeah, but
Uh-huh. And there's a collection of mini games, except it all controls the same way. Tires is a fuel gauge that, well, no, it's kind of a timer, but if you miss catching the ball, it will drain a lot. If it's draining, you're gonna use this core to buy more fuel.
make this. It just looks like a frustrating mess.
Yes.
That's because it is.
Oh. Cool.
I don't remember the name of the company that did this here. But yeah, this game is pretty infamous for what it is. If Okami streams again, I am gonna make him go another round of that, because he knows how to speedrun this thing. This is fine. Now, Kessel, imagine Orbs 3D in 3D! Ugh. Because isn't there a setting to put if you have 3D glasses for this thing? I believe we don't have to worry about that for now. Adventures.
I love you all!
Message from Beakbot. Rebooting. Root beer plus car shenanigans equal power down complete. Ah, much better. Super Mario Advance. Beat the game. Warps allowed. Oh joy.
Ah, crap, I screwed this up too. Alright.
Thanks for the game, Big Beak. It's a treat.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know if you guys saw, but Beat Big did in a new game.
Yep.
I put it in.
Oh no, that was bad of me, I think.
Because that skull's gonna come in chasing after you, isn't it?
Yep.
Hey, Power Ranger. Okay, so if we had to pick the Pink Ranger, which Ranger should we have picked?
I always played with the Black Ranger.
Why?
Because I'm edgy like that. No, I actually
Edgy.
like the axe.
I see.
I can see that.
Ooh, perfect. I think.
Oh yeah, that boss again.
Right.
Now refill of health.
Yes.
Time for something else?
No.
Or is there distraction incoming?
No, it's Super Mario Advance.
Yep. Another game to be added in. That list of games. Boy.
Getting ridiculous?
These bits.
Yeah, and there aren't even duplicates.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of video games in the world.
Why must we play bad games?
And
all
we
night?
must play that.
Yep. I think this is the Nintendo version of that game, isn't it?
We already played this one tonight once.
Ah,
This is the second time
it
this
is
is
Super
shown up.
Nintendo one.
Okay,
The
so
graphics look a little different.
I have no idea what I'm supposed to do here.
Look into rooms. You might need to go back to the elevator.
That's
Yeah. Then you go back to the end of the corridor, then back to the elevator, go to a different floor.
but why?
Because that's about as good as an explanation I've got.
No, that
Best explanation I've
Alright.
got, so you can do that because you're playing this game.
That's a. That's
Bazooka?
sure. Through attack. I remember that part of the movie, don't you?
Just like when Simba fought a gorilla in Lion King.
Exactly. What? Oh, this game looks fun. Just from that picture. I'll soon be proven otherwise, but you know.
I mean, it looks fine right now. Even fun. Except that the tip of his wand, when you shoot with it, looks like... No, and I'm not gonna say anything.
Yes. Good idea.
My decision so far.
Oh, okay. That's how I went in there.
Cute art style, nice range attack, looks good outside of Kestrel, tainting innocence.
Look, it survives. It survived, Sector. Filled with good vibes.
Yeah, sure.
Speaking of vibe scepters, that's probably the end of the stage. I'm curious about the new Peach game they're going to come up with.
Same.
Okay.
This was game memory game.
I see. Was it? It was purple. So I guess hitboxes are a suggestion?
Seems like it.
Wait,
Oh, great, more.
Blue, purple, red, red, blue. Blue.
Purple.
Purple.
Red, blue. You know what would be terrible at this point? Swapping.
yep. I can't disagree.
That's blue up there.
Right, how do you use these powers?
Click on the
You
heart.
can- Yeah, you want the yellow one to escape to fly.
Okay, swapping
Okay.
now would be okay.
Yeah, since you only got one flower to hit. Oh god, right. There's another grudge match that's happening tonight, and one of the games that's going to be played is Mr. Bones. That one's interesting, to say the least. Is a trip where a necromancer doing something in an undead zombie army, well, an undead skeletal army, with drums, and one of them is effective. The playing is not effective. Oh boy, boss time.
Bunch of children running after you.
Seems like that.
Oh, like man, they're precious.
Not bad. I'd expect no less from the leader of the Bond family. But not quite good enough.
Wish I had that hair that fabulous.
Ultimate Glide Laser!
Somebody just die.
Not exactly.
Miss Tron, we've lost contact with the Gustav.
I wonder if Teasel's all right. He said he'd run into some trouble. It's no use standing around here worrying. I'm gonna go to their last known position and make sure everything's okay. Block D, can you hear me? We're heading out in a truck to look for the Gustav. The rest of you, wait at your normal stations, okay?
Roger! Yes, ma'am! Yay! We're going on a mission.
This is definitely a game.
It's a fun trip.
What happened to
I love
Teasel
this
and
one.
Bon Bon?
Miss Tron, it was so scary. We were so frightened.
You're so frightened.
Calm down. It's all right. It's over now. Can you tell me what happened to Teasel and Bon Bon?
They were beaten up. They were both taken away.
Taken away? But by who? Why?
Loadsmen. They said if we can't pay back our debt, they'll make us work it off.
Debt? Teasel never said anything about a debt. He must not have wanted to worry us and so didn't tell us about it. That's just like him. Well, let's get back to the Gesellschaft. We have to make a plan to rescue them. Let's go!
Roger.
What could be taking them? It shouldn't take this long to find something like that. Huh?
I love you all! Found it! We found it!
End of the game.
What took you so long? Hurry, give it to me!
Looks like it's a
Ooh.
good game.
Mega Man 2, classic. Thank you time, and thank you, Bendy. Wonder what brought that up.
It's a good question.
I'm just picturing Time going around to all their friends going, pick a number. At this point,
Pick a card,
Number,
pick a
any
card.
number. Kestrel would be correct.
see, I had a gut feeling.
Okay, I need to take a couple minutes. I'll be right back.
All right. To the intermission wall.
how people's choices keep dancing around the bad games in the list. I mean, at first when you were doing the number thing, I just figured it was just like an illusion. You made us pick a number,
no.
but you would just give us the same game. But at this point, that's been... I don't think that's what's been happening.
He's been swapping out games, and I believe he said that there's like 3 bad games, 3 poison seeds per the 10, so...
Huh.
We'll see how it goes. I'm betting they still have a whole lot of points left. Oh boy, here we go. Mistron, I found a little game while gambling to raise our debt. Funny thing was, I found it at the bottom of the jackpot I was on, in the midst of the Zennies, a Mega Man 2 hat! And it comes from a note attached. Let's see, can I go back to Mario now? Who's Mario and what's the Polk? Either way, I think you'd like it, Mistron. Oh boy. Oh boy.
The doubt.
Mega Man CX. Oh! Oh, that was... I remember that thing. I remember the Kaizo blocks that were in there.
Oh no.
I remember giving that on the last year's April Fools. Oh boy. I remember that thing. I'm sure V has a copy of that. Otherwise, it'd have questions.
The traders.
Beat 4 Masters. Ooh, yes, the game is definitely rock. No question about it. Especially things like Cheat Man. Plays a bit of tease off on the traders. Yeah.
I'll put it on my watch list. That's, you know, as much of a backlog as my video games.
That just makes me think of the one we watched, The Mole, which was interesting. Peter. On the premise of the other version of Dividers, the show features a group of contestants participating in a game similar to the party game Mafia, in which a small group of contestants become the titular traders and must work together to eliminate the other contestants in order to win a grand prize, while the remaining contestants become the faithful and are tasked to discover and banish the traders by voting them out to win the grand prize. So it looks like a more complex version of Loup-Garou.
Funny enough, that's what they were saying in chat. Traders is bare bones werewolf mafia played in the castle in Scotland.
Neat. That sounds like your kind of game. Your kind of game show, I mean.
Yeah? I mean, if the people on the shore are interesting enough.
It makes sense. You could imagine, seemingly there's a US version of it too. I believe Score Count loves all kinds of game shows. So if there's any of them here that you might not be familiar with here, hello. I believe the UK version was cast really well, the US version less so.
I know not really a game show, but I mean the last competition show I watched was the glass blowing competition, which I think it was just called Blow Off. And 1, yes, I love the title, and 2, that was just blown away. Was it that?
Yeah.
I love that show. Cause I mean, the amount of work that goes into glass blown like glass is just...
I can imagine.
It's Bake Off but with glass. Exactly.
Boy, that just makes me think of a different game show that I watched, Forged Fire. But they actually bring 4 bladesmith and actually forge out swords and blades or different kind of historical weapons in there. First 4, like they usually do it in 3 stages. The first part is doing the base metal of a knife. Then they build it into putting the handles, finishing it off, and then they test it all out. And then the final one here, the last 2 contestants, they take about 4 or 5 days to make a fully functional weapon back in their home forges. Before they go through.
My God, a
big
new
testing.
season of Fort Boyard.
Wait, what? Ooh. It's been a long time since we had that.
Man, that was my ringtone for a while. Just a theme song of Fort Boyard.
I remember that.
One show I love watching was Baggage, hosted by Jerry Springer, rest in peace, where people learn baggage about each other. I never heard about that one either.
Me neither.
Season 34. Whew. See, the one you were talking about, Polk, I, again, don't remember the name, and I didn't watch until the end, but it was pretty impressive for what I saw. But it was metal workers having to do, like, sculptures and stuff with, like, scrap metals they were given.
Interesting.
And that was... Some people came up with some really impressive stuff. And I mean, I watched like 8 seasons of Ink Masters. That's probably the game show or competition show that I was loyal to the most.
I believe Score Count showed me a show called Castmaster, where they pretty much take, I believe, well, 5 celebrities, or I wouldn't surprise me if there were 5 comedians, and pretty much they give them each one a task that's very silly in nature. And of course, whoever does the best gets more points, but it's always incredibly silly and hilarious and hard to do. But there are sometimes where they do have to try to get smart, or there's a little workaround that they sneak it in there.
Interesting.
Whatever you do, look under the table.
There's always something hidden.
Half the time. The bloody friggin' times. Like, there was one point, there was one part of the challenge was there was a plate full of flour, and there was a little bowl right next to it. The task was, and of course, just to make extra, I don't remember if I mentioned the whole part here, they were put inside of a garage, and they were also told to put flippers on their hands.
Oh god.
The task written specifically was that they had to put 5 grapes inside of a small bowl. There were 5 grapes hidden within the flour, and the task was said, the winner will be the one who has the most flour still left on the plate. Now, here's a few little things, a few little tricks, and sometimes because since we're a little think outside the box to be able to find a solution, just for the trick, inside of the door of the garage that was at their back, within it here were actually hidden grapes in there too. You could have picked those up, put that in the bowl, but none of them even noticed it at all. There were 5 grapes inside the flour too, but one of the guys, instead, he turned around to the garage door, never saw the grapes, but he lifted it up, ran inside the house outside, went to the fridge, grabbed grapes from the fridge, and came back to put those in the bowl. That was...
I think I would like the outside of the box thinking like that. And
Yes.
Score Count was saying, one of the recent series, a contestant caught onto that and looked under the table for every task. Eventually, she did find a secret envelope there, and it just said, "Hello, Sarah." When the show is self-aware.
Yes! Beautiful. I love that. As the first rule of Taskmaster, all the information is on the task. Indeed, if it's not on the task, it's allowed. Like, God, there was one of the tasks where the contestant was incredibly thought completely outside the box and came up with a clever solution. But technically, it's pretty complex. They were given a task to be tied down to a chair, or at least tied down, and the task was that the assistant, he usually is an assistant given a task, they were given a certain amount of time, tie themselves up, and the goal was to make it as hard as possible for the assistant to untie them. The longest time it took for the assistant to untie them, the more the points they'd be getting. So one of them decided, you know what? I'm gonna ask the assistant to sit in the chair instead, and I'll tie him up, and then I'll just put a little knot around my wrist. The assistant could not get out after that.
Nice.
Ah yes, little Alex Horn!
To which, that was the funny part. I was like, but what happens if you tie up the assistant instead?
Exactly! Oh, and halfway through, the thing is that during that task, there was another task too, because before that they were told to put that if you had ever heard a horn at any point during that day, they were to go into the lounge of the house, put on a tracksuit, and lay on the floor for a certain amount of time. Now like I said here, the original task was to tie yourself down to the chair for the longest. Right in the middle of that, the horn sounded. So they had to untie themselves, go to the lounge, put on the tracksuit, lay down, and then redo all their works. It was... Some of them were really not happy.
I watched Wipeout too. I mean, the big balls. Yes. The big red balls.
At some point I'm gonna have to show you some of those episodes of Taskmaster. Wow. That's good. One of them didn't even bother doing the polar suit stuff until after the modern exam is complete. Yeah.
There was that show where it was all like... Was it like Castle something? Where it was all Asian people doing the stupidest games?
Takeshi's Castle, I believe.
There
also
you go.
known as Extreme Challenge or something like that.
I would love catching that show as a child.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was amazing. It was hilarious.
Top price was 20,000. I was gonna say, some people probably got hurt for more than that.
Uh-huh.
I have no idea what any of you are talking about.
Game shows
Oh, game shows.
of all sorts.
Oh, well, the more you know.
I
Not like the
believe
US.
there was one really silly show in Japan where they put some people inside of a room and they had to find objects that were replaced by chocolate.
Yes, I remember pictures of them trying the doorknob or the shoe and stuff like that.
They grab onto the doorknob, pull a little bit, and the doorknob comes off. Yeah! Alright.
Ultimate Warrior is also a nice watch, just to be impressed. But what you will never do because you're a gamer and you sit on your ass.
Yep, this is it. This is Teasel's receipt for the money.
What does it say?
Read it.
We did miss
Ooh.
something else.
Nice
Oh.
reaction, V.
Well played, sir.
Okay.
Time shock, I'll
I
have
did
to look
go-
that up.
I did go the wrong way, but that's okay. I'm alive.
I was gonna say,
The important part at this point.
it was kind of a sucky spot to swap into, so...
Uh-huh. Kind of moments you think you're dead.
I missed the ferry. That's unfortunate.
Oh,
Like the
so
cake.
like, you can shout out an answer to the question halfway through, and then the end of the question you're like, well, that was not what I expected to be. But I like rapid questions like that. I mean, there was a French show that I watched. It would come up during supper when I was still with my parents. And I guess the translation was everybody wants to be the champion or some roughly translated. And it was just quiz questions like that, and I love quiz shows.
Reminds me of one that was...
Tout le monde veut prendre sa place. Yes.
Ah.
Okay, thank you.
Gardeners indeed. Reminds me of one another show that was all about celebrities here, and they would tell 3 statements, and one of them would be a lie. They had to figure out which one was the lie.
I did that
And-
in Spanish for a project.
Ooh. And they tell all sorts of stories about what those lies were, or what the stories, the lies and the truth. Like kind of an interview and a bit of a game show at that point.
A lot of people groaned in frustration because my lie statement was, while I was doing horseback riding, I won a prize for, let's say I won a prize for the keyhole maneuver or whatever. I don't know what it would be called in English. And that was the lie because I had actually won an award in barrels racing. And everyone was like,
Details.
that's just mean. And I was like, well, I don't want to make it easy.
Here's the thing. Jump, kick, all in mind.
Kill that Waluigi.
The guy looks like a Dragon Ball villain.
Rocky and Bullwinkle.
And the guy exploded into Rocky and Bullwinkle.
See, I would love to participate into a murder, like, night thing with friends. Nice. That sounds really fun.
Reminds me that Portal John, he got invited to a few murder mystery games too. There's only one problem. Every single time he's been the murder victim. Every single time.
In MS Paint, right? There was a key there.
Nintendo. Yep.
Okay, Polk, that was not a real statement.
What do you mean it's not a real statement?
That this was made on paint?
Well, sure feels like it.
It feels like it. I obviously know it's on Super Nintendo or whatever.
This is the regular Nintendo.
Oh. Oh, what is that background? Outdated because the people he was doing the murder mysteries with ended up getting out as bad people. Aw, that's unfortunate.
Really? Oh, that sucks. I just like each episode instead of which is fun. Except I'm very sad for the first season.
I mean, if I get to watching that show by the time I actually get to the moment, I'm probably gonna have forgotten this conversation, so... Also, the music is terrible.
There is.
Did you expect quality from something Okami gave us?
Can hope.
He's gonna give us something incredible and
You're-
curse.
Oh.
Why didn't it screen transition this time? There we go.
Right, but I think the game is only about 3, maybe 4 stages long. At least last I remember until there was a loop.
Big Bot, you're chaos, Mercy.
Oh, crap.
Well,
This game again, because I remember Raven playing this.
Illusion of Gaia. 5 stages.
Huh.
Oh,
Got
boy.
it. Excellent.
Maybe we should meet up and work in this together. Oh, what's your one Kev are you? Kev, do you see Kev? Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
The team is
Yep.
completely somewhere else.
Their team. I believe that every single pairs were somewhere else.
Damn. Dedication from the producers.
Oh yeah.
Come on, Swapper.
Wendy?
Yes, this is a good game from Time Stalker.
Yeah, but I wanted to keep playing Illusion of Gaia.
Yeah, sorry, no. Wendy comes in.
As in, are we talking fast food, Wendy?
No.
Okay.
We're talking classic, like 50s comic strip Wendy.
I didn't know there was a
Yep.
comic strip called Wendy.
You're familiar with Casper, right?
A tiny bit from what I remember.
So this is
Oh.
part of that whole.
This is also done
Huh.
by Way Forward, which are the people who made Shantae.
Is it Shantae or Shanty?
Shantae, I believe.
Because I thought it was a play on word on the, like, shanties. Like sea shanties.
Would make sense.
This is awesome.
Indeed. Gravity flipping mechanics.
Huh.
Can't go down a platform, but can jump through them. I don't believe it's extremely long either, unless I remember.
We've got passwords though.
Ooh.
To say, how did that not hit you? But the game caught up.
Game decided, yep. And back to chess.
To where we started?
Yep. Now it's tower eating tower.
I think you mean Rook fighting Rook.
Yes.
Yeah, it's because it's tower in French.
Indeed. Well, then smash.
They just danced at each other and one said nope.
Yeah, no, I've had enough. Get me off this ride.
Decisions.
Wonder of an alternate universe where Shanty was the one-off game and Wendy got the full series.
Wouldn't that be nice? Beside peon.
Oh my god, it's the first time I noticed the like queen walking and that freaking
Yep.
those
that's
hips.
Strut. That's the chick.
Couldn't have.
No, it's next. It's mate.
Yep, it's mate.
Oh, right.
Ain't nothing stopping that one.
You lost.
I know.
Indeed.
But
Oh,
now-
is
see,
there actually an animation with a king?
Yes. Yes.
Oh my.
There are animations with every single piece.
No, I don't think there can be a king versus king.
There is.
What?
That tease.
What's this one?
Or
Oh,
bone.
that's Final Fantasy Tactics.
15%.
Right now, you'd see the actual graphic style of the game.
Yeah, the thinking score count because you're not allowed to put your king in mate.
Mhm.
So how do you eat another king with a king?
That's a good question.
There's some chess rules. Come on, chess. Fate chess? Why is there so many different types of chess?
Yes.
I mean, okay, I know one. It was a parody from the show In a Galaxy Near You, in Galaxy
Right.
Près de chez vous, where it was Martian chess.
Oh god.
And there were turrets, it was like 3-dimension, different types of ships and stuff, and it didn't make sense, obviously.
That was part of the parody.
Yep.
And only this is a different version of chess. You got board, you got pieces, you move them around.
Now it's time to remember how to play this game.
The
Well,
first
don't
thing that came to
everybody.
mind is, yes, let's, walk standing to declare dominance.
No T-posing around here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, only a stunning set.
Well, I mean, sometimes you get throw stone.
Sometimes not here. This is the prologue.
No, I mean in the prologue, I remember having throw stone.
Patch version?
No, this is. I've never played a patch version of this game. You broke the shield. Wow, they really don't like that person.
Alright, now that I don't have cat paralysis, I'm just gonna be right back.
Right? Finger next. Good stuff.
I was gonna say, I recognize those noises.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Paul choosing the new number.
Again. Oh boy. Hmm. Yeah, let's go with number 1.
Numero uno.
Indeed.
I
I
almost.
probably just wanted to pick a bad game, didn't I? Wouldn't be the first time, wouldn't be the last time.
Somebody has to.
No, but, you know, gonna happen.
What is it with you picking games from this franchise?
I
No.
don't know, and it worries me.
I love you all!
You had to go pick Bubsy again.
Uh-huh. Because,
The
you know,
fact that it said again.
we only have 2, so...
It should have never happened
God damn it.
twice.
If I had a nickel for every time I pick Bubsy, I'd have 2 nickels. It's not very much, but it's hard to happen twice.
You know, I'm starting to get the urge to say, you know, we're done for the night. And then maybe next time we can start choosing good games.
Poor child.
Okay, I was
At
given
least
a
you're playing a
choice.
good game now.
You gave more good than bad, and that's true. But then we had a commune decided, yeah, you know what, I hate fun.
I'm not denying that time. It's just I'm gonna say tonight's editions of games have been leaning towards the bad side. All right.
Which Pope can't play a numbers game because it's... Buddy.
I need to just do this. I missed it. Ah! What's happening?
Nothing but slews.
Real Sonic game.
You're dead.
I noticed.
That train sound.
Yep. Boop, boop.
That's what I get for stretching an itch.
Yeah, that stage, that other scroll is kind of no.
Oh my god. Why can't I brain today?
You had a few drinks.
See, for me, I looked at the screen and I only saw one of the guys that were doing the jumping rope. And I was like, why is someone taking a piss on the bunny?
Uh,
Don't worry, V, I think I'm tired too.
I mean, I don't think the drinks that I had are really affecting me anymore right now.
Oh no, they're not.
However, me only sleeping for like an hour and a half today, that's affecting me.
yeah,
Yes.
that problem.
The end.
And
That face. If only it worked that way.
I mean, we could make it work that way.
I did in the game in a really long time.
I love you all!
oh boy, here comes another.
So,
Oh boy, Demon's Crest.
oh, right. I need to pause. Man, I am out of it tonight. Nintendo. Super Nintendo. Why can't we have good games?
Demon's Crest is a good game.
Lies.
I'll have to be on Kessel's side on this one.
Oh. Did I ever add that? Yes, I did. Oh my. Yeah, I'm really out of it.
Dang.
Oh, right. This thing.
No good games. Oof, that's a harsh critic.
There are
Hey.
no games.
The cake is a lie.
It's either all good or all bad. There is no in between.
There are games.
Ah, yeah, that sounds about right too. Oh boy. And we have Ninja Spirit for the Game Boy this time. One more good game.
But the TurboGrafx version is better. Okay, come on. Then that's a terrible place to swap, but okay. Game Boy. Let's see.
What is
Ninja Spirit.
I love you all!
the one that? Oh Jesus, Okami.
Well,
Atari Lynx. I have to go get that one.
We didn't have enough titles that had Doom in the title.
I love you all!
The Ancient Ship of Doom. That was the first Ninja Gaiden game I owned. And so that was the one I played the most.
Guys, you don't need to start fighting to give games.
This shit is happening now.
Ooh, Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. Ooh, good choice.
What happened?
We get added in Ghost Trick Phantom Detective to the DS.
No, Okami Ninja Gaiden 3 on the NES. Because Kesh was talking about Ancient Ship of Doom, and that was one I played a lot as a kid on the NES. It was a lot of fun. The hell is Ghost Trick?
It's a game that's getting re-released in a few weeks. Made by the people who made the Ace Attorney.
Ghost
Which Kessler is not
Trick.
played.
DS.
They almost grabbed the Ace Attorney bundle today. Almost.
Ooh, almost. Oh, come on, they're good in visual novels. Good stuff.
Okay. Right.
Here we go. Boy.
Hey, Veritas, thanks for the raid.
Hey, fantastic! Thank you for the raid! Welcome to the insanity of shuffling, where people have been putting in a whole bunch of games into our shuffler.
Whole bunch of bad games.
I was gonna say not exactly good games either.
And specifics. Some good, some bad. It happens.
You know, it's funny you mention that.
But
It's like your own personal Kuso Grande. You have no idea how right you are.
this is training for the actual Kusa Grande.
Okami, what was the good game? Because quite honestly, my brain is so focused on the bad ones. Oh yes, yes, that Ninja Gaiden 3 is a fantastic game. And I look forward to trying it out on the links.
That'll be a trip.
It's our theme song now.
Good song.
Well, yeah, read Veritasu's comment.
Doom.
Doom! Take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the randomize, the randomize. Oi! And there goes Veritasu. Great humor, great classics, good stuff. Give it a follow if you can.
Okay. And that Switch turned on Saga Frontier.
It had been a while. Ring 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 phone call phone call ring 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 phone call phone call.
Boulevard of Broken Dreams to finish.
Sorry. Yes, good old jailbreak.
Plot of this game.
Yes.
Oh no.
Welcome to today's sewer level.
Running. Okay. Save button. Yes, let's save. Battle. Why does this person have a laser knife in prison?
He's taken from guard.
Okay, I thought with their animation they were just gonna flip and land on their back.
Yeah.
Like a failed flip.
Wait, don't walk into the light.
That sounds like a bad idea. Bad, pyramid.
20 lines.
Yep. Those pieces are kind of butts, you know? I have to wonder why this game was never released. Well,
I like
I
the
don't have to
concept.
wonder why. There's one line.
beginning.
Tried to clone Tetris while drunk.
When we get to the makes sense. Well, let's try putting angles on that.
We say around these parts, well, bless their heart, they tried.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey.
That's line 3. Move to the right. Left. Line 4.
I think V's trying to give a middle finger to something.
Big arch. Got line 5. And Wally Bear and no gang.
This looks like a gem. Can we go back to Pyramid?
Yes, please.
Stay smart, don't start. Fully ice physics games? Oh, it's because of the skateboard.
Yep.
No, the... Wow. The bird said F you.
I mean, you
Yep.
jumped into his path.
Alright. I got something.
There you got
Oh.
Frisbee, which is your weapon.
Ah,
Which means
bird.
you can take a hit.
Oh, that's a speed up.
I take a hit, so he gets
Shooting. Apple pies?
bees.
Oh.
What?
Trying to follow the plot.
In case it's important.
I don't think it's gonna be.
I have no idea. Beak Beak said something.
In the words of Jontron, who's Ricky Rat? Who's Tommy Turtle? Who the fuck are you?
Sounds about right. See, I really don't see a frisbee in that. The middle is way too popped out.
I see a flying saucer.
A saucer or an apple pie? I like apple pie better. Archon. By Activision.
That's right. The last time we played this game, it broke everything.
Oh yeah.
Because this is
Weird
Yeah,
chests.
speaking of, it broke everything.
It's broke everything again, didn't it?
Sure looks like it. Because, yeah, I looked over at my Lua console and I see a bunch of errors and the shuffler stopped running.
Eesh. We may have to take that one out then.
Yeah, I think so. So, unfortunately, Archon, which is weird, it's an NES game of all things that's breaking it. Let's remove that. We're gonna close that. We're gonna
Given us that game then.
Hmm?
Who had given us Archon?
Time did.
Of course. Alright, so we're kicking Archon out of the list.
Yes, because well, I mean, keep it in there. Just say it's broken or something.
Yeah. Unplayable. Put it at the bottom of the list.
No, the list is alphabetical.
Fair.
It's alphabetical by game. The in progress or cleared section just say broken or unplayable or whatever. Okay. Oh wait, I need to put the stream back on for BizHawk. There we go. Okay.
Forgot to do the thing. There you go.
Archon.nest not found, which is perfect. Okay.
We're not hearing any sound.
Okay.
Yep, joined the Riley time.
How about now? Is there sound?
Yep.
Okay.
You're hearing groaning.
So we found our
Are you
first shuffler broken game.
Yep. Well, besides the soft lock we had in Mega Man X Rando.
But that wasn't a shuffler issue.
Yeah, true.
That
What
was
happened in the Mega Man Shuffler?
in the Mega Man X Rando, it's soft locked because of the boss room randomization.
Yep.
That bad?
Yes, because X ran into the room, and it soft locked because he couldn't move.
It was right in the ground. And he kept on running so we couldn't even pause right for the stage.
Fortunate.
It is unfortunate because that was fun.
Could put another one. And not touch the boss rooms.
If you want to spend points on it.
I'll think about it.
You know, maybe after. Okay, maybe how about now? Here's
What?
the start of the stage.
Uh,
Oh, what?
Your quest for this game is to save your girlfriend from the gang. And the more stage you complete, the more she gets stripped down.
Is this safe for streaming?
Yes, I words believe to go all the way down to the bikini. And if you also want to know, there is a. This game got taken over by Wisdom Tree and then got turned into a
ooh.
game.
At least it's a Metroid game, right?
I suppose.
Also, V,
Huh?
your menu is showing.
That's fine. It can show.
Why you do this to me? Am I a joke to you?
Sometimes.
Oof. I get it.
No, the menu is not safe for work. Which is a good thing we're not at work, so. Wait, is this the one Metroid game in which Samus keeps her power-ups from the previous game?
Yep.
I have Morph Ball. I have missiles.
You're fired, but don't get a lot more. Don't have screw attack or bombs.
Alright, bomb's fine. Screw attack is optional in the first game.
Better get sick either. But this game actually does have a save feature.
Is this the next one in the series?
Metroid Prime Corruption, this is the game we're starting with.
So Tuesday, who's playing this?
I believe it's my turn on that one.
Supposed to be sound? Okay, now I'm hearing it.
It's like I can hear sound. That's a Metroid.
Yep, and Alpha Metroid.
Gonna say, looks weirder than the Metroids I've seen.
Yeah, they've decided to start evolving.
Why is it shaking?
Because that means that you destroyed enough Metroid to go to down the counter. So now there's a section of lava that's cleared up. You want to go there to the next level, to the next section.
Oh, those are refills. Okay. Hi, Jake.
Jake.
Nice.
Boy.
More bad games, cause
Game is fine.
this game is terrible.
No,
What the heck
it's
is that
not.
about?
I love you all!
Oh boy.
Hitch a ride.
It's
Squishy.
alright.
Okay, last one for tonight from me, unless a game is cleared. But today's also the anniversary of the N64. In celebration, plus a particular franchise getting another game according to the Japan Nintendo Direct, Goemon's Great Adventure.
Boy.
I'm assuming that's on the 64.
Most likely.
Yes.
Number 3. That's what we wanted to see. When I get to a good swap Beak, I will add Goemon.
Right?
And the link I DM'd you is for the games I can immediately upload, like Ghost Trick. It'll be my go-to for Nintendo 64 and DS games.
Oh, Time, if you're still there, seeing as how you're having issues with this game in your shuffler, are we probably just looking at clearing stage 5 on this as well? Since that's where it kept freezing for you? Hell, I don't even know what stage we're on now.
So we play until it crashes?
But we beat it, one of the two.
Yes.
The frig is this?
Yes.
This freaks me out more than the bunny.
Okay, now's a good time to do a quick pause.
All these games you got.
It was Goemon's Great Adventure. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that was stage 2. Crap. Oh,
What happened? Oh,
I was off by a fraction of a second. That was the wrong one to do.
are you
I'm
okay,
not-
V?
No. The answer to your question is a resounding no. I mean,
And what is this?
going to bed does sound pretty good right now.
And that's completely understandable.
What in the
So many
world?
bad games. It's okay, Dad. Let's just get you to bed. Yeah, I know I'm tapping out. Jeez.
What is this game?
I don't know. It sounds
If I vote,
like a good kind of goofy.
you know, it's not a graphic votes. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to.
Right. Good night, people.
Good. Good slept.
This is definitely a game.
You can thank McCone for that one too.
I think so. One of your good games. I mean, so far this does seem better than some of those other ones that you added.
Uh-huh.
Stage clear. Awesome. What did I just do? Okay.
Some super art, I think.
Okay.
Boy, really getting the swing of things, huh? And Paper Mario.
Oh, I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't think any of us know what you're doing on this one. I think BB told us that you could go to the first part and there's a section you can unlock for 50 coins or so. Like being coin to a trooper.
No, that's the forest. So where exactly is it, Beak Beak? Private. One more up and then right, okay. Um, okay. I don't know what to do with this. You there, Polk? I'm going to pause for now because I have no idea.
Yeah, chameleon twist. That's a problem. I don't know. Do you have to have a robo pack turned on or? Yeah, that might be an issue at that point. I have no idea. If you're still there, can you give us some options? To me, it looks like it's work. I got a different backup. Mischief Makers. Which is also a good N64 game. No 3D involved.
All right, so I guess for now, we'll do some experimenting. But for now, we'll add Mischief Makers.
Alright.
And we'll let this time run out.
Have a good night, Beak Beak.
Yep, good night. Thanks for tuning in. I mean, I've probably got like another 15 minutes in me.
Yeah, that sounds like a good time for us to go. I can get behind that.
Unless we start getting a bunch of good games, then I might be able to last longer.
So it depends on the mood, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh boy, Kami, you're looking for a grudge match opponent? And that might be fun.
The only issue with the grudge match is it's Friday nights for that, isn't it?
Usually, yes, but he's actually doing a double scenes, like he's doing Thursday and Friday for some reason.
Mm. Of course, we get a long swap of a red screen that says warning.
Yep. Nothing to do.
There we go.
Sega. And that's Echo the Dolphin.
Right?
a weird one. Echo the Dolphinoid.
Suddenly, great winds of water. Those were spikes.
Those were spicy meatballs.
These jellyfish are jerks.
That they are. They're just a little jelly.
Search for the key glyph. I got that the first time.
What does a key glyph look like, anyways?
I have no idea. I'm sure we'll find out soon. A map?
Ain't that nice? I've been called generous. Zelda, ho!
Hey, it's the big key.
The big key for Big Trouble in Little China.
Big key for Skullwoods, though. Wait, do I have a fire? I don't have a fire source. Or a sword. Mickey Mouse magic wand.
Yep.
Alright. Who starts? Right. Ah, I see.
Demi-Seed Crest.
And this really weird game.
Uh-huh. Strange Beast.
Oh. Space Sheriff. I got a party member.
Well,
All right. And I think that's where we're gonna call it for the night.
yep, sounds like a plan. Time for us to go to sleep. It's time. We've been through a lot. I added that to the wrong list. Whoops.
Don't do that.
Let's get that fixed. Good. Alright. That'll be it for tonight. We've had some interesting swaps, some interesting shuffles, to say the least. Alright. Tomorrow, if you're able to get the game tomorrow, we'll go back to Final Fantasy 16. If not, we'll be doing Watch for Job Fiesta. Let's see how things go for that.
Yeah, that should.
Otherwise-
All right. So, looking at the tracking, it looks like estimated deliveries between 10:30 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. The latest, so 2:30. That is usually 2 hours, 2.5 hours before stream time.
If you're able
So
to
if
install it
I-
and patch it for them.
So an hour for install and patch should be enough time. So if this is accurate, we should be able to do 16 tomorrow. But we will have the backup plan of the 4-job Fiesta.
Worst case scenario. We'll have options.
something
We'll have
else.
options.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's always the shuffler too, and someone else can suffer through it. Like, have you done it yet, Polk?
I've done the shuffler once.
Okay.
Once though, and I'm looking forward to the return, but my turn just didn't come. That's turning
Oh.
to suffering. I like that read message. I'll take that. Yoink.
Maybe next week next week Friday after Sekiro, you can take the reins on the shuffler.
I like that plan. I like that plan very much. Also on Sunday I may grab some time and do more 4-job Fiesta in there anyways. I don't think we're just gonna be doing tier stuff.
Yeah, that'll be good. I don't know if I'll join on voice, but I will definitely be in chat if I am awake.
Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan. Alright. For now tonight, and also on Monday we'll be back to more Virtuous Last Award. Gonna be great.
Yeah, it will.
Alright, I'll be sending us over to Mifa, who's doing their own shuffler. That's good
That
stuff.
sounds good. Alright, everyone,
Yeah.
thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time.
Next time, good night.